So what I did my life prior to Less Than Jake, from 1994, 1994 till May of 2000, I was off and on. I went to school at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And I did learn a lot, I suppose, because I didn't know shit going in. Like, I thought I was, like, ready to study music and do all this stuff, and it just ended up being, like, me showing up and going, oh, fuck, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know my major scales, I don't know my minor scale. Like, there's 3 different kinds of minor scales. Like, I had no idea. So I had to take a trombone class. I had to learn oboe, I had to learn flute, I had to learn, well, I knew clarinet, but I had to take a clarinet class. I had to take 4 like piano classes. Like basically it was like 4 semesters of like piano lessons so you could read music and be proficient in it. I took a percussion class, like drumming, so like learning like sticking techniques and how to read, you know, what a paradiddle is, like that kind of shit. And then what else? I took a trumpet class because trumpet was one of the things we really had to learn. So I learned how to play trumpet. And then I guess I knew piano as a kid, and I played guitar, and, you know, I kind of can futz around a drum kit, you know, but I'm not super proficient at everything, but I could teach you how to play a fucking oboe. How about that?
Lion City siren sing the night away, night away. Lion City siren sing the night away.
Going to music school and then being in a rock band were 2 things that I never thought would go hand in hand. And originally I just wanted to be a better musician, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought that I would be a teacher because I never thought I would be in a band, you know? And it came to the point where I was student teaching, my old band was breaking up, and I was super into teaching, you know? And I never, like, didn't think about it. And then Vinny called and said, hey, you want to come join the band? And I was like, maybe, you know? But I never thought I would need it, you know? But like, in retrospect, it was cool to take music education versus like music business, or because there's different things you could do. Like there's, you know, you could be a music production engineering major. You could be a songwriting major, but that's like being a writer. You know what I mean? Like it made no sense. So the only thing that made sense was education. Looking back on it now, it was a good choice because like in a band setting, when we're writing and stuff, you know, like there'll be disagreements a lot of times, and like they'll be like, say we'll play something and these 2 notes rub together, and they'll be like, well, why is, you know, that sounds like shit. No, it works. No, it sounds like shit. And so I like to think that in some weird way I'm like the great mediator and that kind of thing, because I could be like, oh, that's, you know why it's like that? It's a minor second. It makes this rub and it sounds like shit.
How you like me now?
Does music school prepare you for live performing? To a degree, but I didn't go for performance. You could go to the school and they, you know, it's performance major and they teach you how to stand on stage and, you know, the sweeping arm movements and make sure you enunciate the words. But like, I learned everything from being in a band, you know, like that's where my music, like all the dudes that I was going to school with, they practiced all weekend. I was gigging on weekends. But did it prepare me to play in front of like a Reading crowd or something like that? Hell no. No way, man. That's something that you just learn, you know? Like, you don't know how to do it, you just do it. And I can honestly say that in my class of people that I went to school with and like other horn players and stuff, I was the worst. The worst horn player. You know what I mean? Like, my teacher, there's this old black guy, his name's Andy McGee. He's amazing. And he would just look at me in practice, and he'd smile at me when I'd go to like lessons, because like maybe I didn't know it well enough, or I was really nervous around him or whatever. Because this guy played with like Lionel Hampton and like fucking Woody Herman and like Duke Ellington and like motherfuckers you read about, you know what I mean, that you study. And so here's this guy, and he's teaching me how to play saxophone, and he would, you know, I'd fuck up, and you know, he'd say to me, hey, why don't you bring in one of your horn lines that you're working on with your band? You know, let's see if we can work on that. And he'd help me write horn lines, and he like helped me because he'd smile and look at me. He's like, man, you'll never be Coltrane. He goes, but maybe you'll just be all right and be happy, you know? And like, he was such a cool guy.